To infinity, the Rice Owls signing day just having been completed. And we have Dunleavy family head football coach Mike Bloomgren. Coach, all things considered, how are you doing?
All things considered, really good. Couldn't be happier about these five guys we added today. Just think things are continuing to go in the right direction. Really excited.
Yeah, speak to that first. That you said back in the fall that you had the luxury of having a smaller class that allowed you to be more selective. And we'll start here in the now and maybe look back at some of those fall signees too. But just what you thought about the five guys coming in here.
Yeah, I think you got to talk about it in totality as a group, and obviously with the changing landscape of college football, which is ever changing. Whether you're talking about NIL, the effect of the transfer portal, I think if we think that it's going to go back to the way it was ever, we're crazy. So we have got to change with college football, and that's what we as a staff have tried to do. Tried to stay a step ahead in every instance. But as we get more scholarships, as things become available, we get a clearer picture of what we have to fill. And that's what's really cool is we had that time in January to kind of assess and then to continue to recruit some guys, some targets we've been on for a while, but also some new ones popped into play via the transfer portal. So a really cool month in January, a lot of planes, trains, and automobiles, and really excited about this group. Got an offensive lineman that we found out about and we're able to jump in the mix. Brad Bauer, 6'5", 278-pound offensive lineman from Rockland, California. Really good football out there. They had a 12-1 season, really successful, and had a chance to beat Folsom, which was Folsom's first loss to somebody in the league in 55 games. So part of a winning tradition there. The next one is Bowden Groom. He's a 6'4", 235-pound tight end coming to us via Saddleback College, but also via two of the best high school programs in America. He was at Austin Westlake, and then his family moved out to the West Coast when his brother went to play baseball at Pepperdine, and he ends up at Mater Dei. And he played and won a national championship in 2018 there at Mater Dei. And just a really cool history of football with him, and we're excited to have Bowden really jump on board. Next would be a linebacker from the Ivy League from Columbia, Cam Dillon. He's a 6'2", 227-pound linebacker, guy that was second team All Ivy, played a lot of football up there for them. He's just an explosive guy. He's a run and hit linebacker that when he sees it, he can go get it. Matter of fact, he had one game where he had 5.5 sacks in a game, rushing from the off the ball linebacker spot, and just had a bunch of tackles for loss. I think 13.5 tackles for loss last year. So awesome production. Comes from Findlay, Ohio, the same hometown as Ben Roethlisberger. So football history kind of coming up. And his father even played at Purdue back in the day. So we're excited to get Cam here. Another one of our transfers is Isaiah Esdale. He's a wide receiver that played his college ball at FBS, West Virginia. 6 foot, 212-pound receiver that goes up and gets the football, makes some unbelievable contested catches. You don't have to look any further than to see what he did against Texas and his ability to go over DBs and pluck the ball out of the air. We got really high hopes for Isaiah. He's got big plans here and is excited to be part of this Rice House football team. And lastly, in today's signing class is Ishmael Joseph. And he's a long corner. He's a 6'1", 6'2", 183-pound kid that played his high school ball in Tampa down in that great league at Tampa Tech, and then went to Georgia Military this past year and had good success there. So I really think these five are filling the holes or the places we wanted to put players in, but they're also outstanding players that I just think we're so fortunate to have been able to go out and convince to be part of our program going forward.
Do you think wide receiver was the big area that you addressed? It looks like that, including the early signees in the guys that you signed today, that was a big area with the transfers too, the area you addressed.
Yeah, getting two transfers from some good programs that have had great production in college, those are big deals, in addition to getting some guys back in the wide receiver room. But the problem we've had is we felt good about the wide receiver room the last couple of years, and then injuries have really brought down our production in that room. And we've been fortunate to have people step up and fill those roles, but it would be so good to have guys that are experienced college football players jump in that room along with the group that we've got coming back. We just feel really good about the wide receiver room at this point.
We didn't do one of these in the fall signing day because we knew we'd have this one coming up. So lumping in that fall group, which was big, you had 6 of the 11 guys you signed then from our great state of Texas. So you maintain, as you have day one since you got here, I remember your introductory press conference, that strong connection as you continue to build those bonds with the coaches here in the great state of Texas.
Yeah, we love recruiting this state. Like we would just be crazy to go outside. We know how good the high school football is, how good the high school football coaches are, and the high school coaches are such an asset in recruiting this state because of the straight line recruiting model that the THSCA puts forward, where everything's going to work through the coach, and you get such honest feedback from the coaches about how these guys are in the classroom, in the school building, at home, and we really get to know them so well with these in-state kids. So I love recruiting our Houston and Dallas kids, which seem to be the two top areas we pulled from. I guess along with most everybody in the state, the football's so good in both those metro areas.
I'd be interested to hear, and we talked about this a little bit as the news broke towards the end of last season. I remember we were at Fuddruckers talking about how the new conference would impact recruiting. Is it still too early to tell on that, or does that maybe come with the 23 class? And pardon the ignorance on that question perhaps, but just did that factor in some too?
Oh, I think it always factors in. I think it's such a big thing. It puts us in a different stratosphere with recruits and their desire to be on linear games during the week, to play on ESPN, on everybody's cable network. And those are some of the bigger things, that and the commitment level to football we've been able to put forward in our own building, from growing the nutrition to bringing breakfast in-house every day into our own building. And just some of the things we're doing going forward with the Sendejo Performance Center and also the plans for the stadium. Like, things are really going in a fun upward trajectory, and it's really easy to see that. But we're always going to talk about us jumping into the American Athletic Conference. That's a big slide in everything we're presenting right now.
All right, the grind never stops. Give us an idea of what's next on the offseason calendar and kind of your feelings as you keep this momentum going. As we always joke, before we know it, we'll be doing our pregame interview out there in LA for USC.
Yeah, I can't wait. But in the short term, our guys are working their butts off in the weight room right now. They grinded through last week. And, every week of our offseason program, we have an opponent that we're playing. So we had USC, and of course we have McNeese. And we got the win last week. That means everybody's showing up and working their butts off and doing their job. And so that's outstanding. And that's so much fun when things are going the right way in that room. I think we're starting to get some leaders to step up in the football team. And we'll continue to kind of go status quo on that for another 2 weeks and get some good maxes out of that session. And then we go into what we refer to as Hell Week, which is some early morning training and really attacking the brain and the leadership and the mentality as much as anything. And we'll do that. And then that Friday, we're going to do some more leadership training. And that's Friday the 18th. And that goes right into spring ball. We start spring ball on Monday, February 21st. And we're so excited about that as a coaching staff. So there's just so much fun, good stuff going on right now. But you know how it is. Like, as good as everything's going in the weight room, as good as the leadership training is going to be, we all long to be back on the grass for spring ball. And so that's going to be a big date on February the 21st.
Can't wait, Coach. Thanks. Congrats on the great class, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Thanks so much, JP. Go Owls.
Yes, sir. Rice Fight. Dunleavy Family Head Football Coach Mike Bloomgren. That's our recap of the 2022 Rice Owls signing class.